So Dan Lanning just wrapped up his third season of college football being a head coach. He went 13-0. He won the Big Ten. It's pretty good. That's some would say it's very good. It just doesn't feel very good because of the way the Rose Bowl went. But I'm optimistic Spencer today. I'm sending you into the weekend with the most optimism that I can come up with here. So, was it disappointing and discouraging that Oregon had a roster as good as it was this past year, which I will continue to beat the drum on? Like, that team was really good. Ohio State was just better on that day. It is on the one hand impressive and on the other hand frustrating that the season went the way that it did. But Dan Lanning doing what he just did in his third year and having a legitimate national championship shot and just running into the Ohio State buzzsaw there, you got to feel really good about that. And I keep feeling better and better about it the more I consider it. And since this podcast at times, particularly in the off season, is just my stream of consciousness, that's why I'm discussing it here. But a couple of coaches just worthy of note. Kirby Smart. We all agree he's pretty good, right? Can we agree he's really good? Because he went from Alabama over to Georgia, and I tell you what, been a pretty seamless transition. Guy's been good for a long time. Won those 2 national championships, none since Dan Lanning left. Many are questioning whether Kirby Smart was good or if Lanning was the mastermind. Intense, heavy sarcasm right there. Kirby Smart is really good. Kirby Smart was hired to Georgia in 2016. He went to the national championship game in the 2018 season. In that game, they had Alabama 2nd and 26 and gave up a long touchdown to Devontae Smith, virtually uncovered. Kirby Smart, defensive wizard, defensive guy, on the biggest stage, that close to a national championship, defense let him down. Game before, they played Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. SEC, Big 12, oh, that's advantage SEC. Baker Mayfield and company, coached by Lincoln Riley at the time, put up, I believe it was 48 points in a big game early in his career. And then, by the time Kirby Smart won a national championship, after years of criticism, can't win the big one, won't ever beat Saban, can't do that. Everyone wants to just rush into the urgency phase with things. After his defense had a meltdown moment in the national championship game after getting torched the game prior, Kirby Smart then just went back to the well, kept coaching, kept getting better, kept improving himself, wins 2 national championships in a row. This is not to say Dan Lanning is going to win 2 national championships in a row. But again, this is Friday optimism that I'm sending you off with into the weekend. His first national title didn't come until 2021. He was hired in 2016. Jim Harbaugh won a national championship at Michigan 2023. He went to the playoff each of the prior 2 years and did not win a game. Got beat badly, then got beat by TCU, a team that they were supposed to beat, but they did not. And alas, their quarterback return, who was really talented, a bunch of their roster return, 81%, and then they had that season. Still wasn't easy, never is, never has been, never will be, but he was hired to Michigan in 2015. Those are elite, tier 1, championship level programs with championship head coaches, and that's how long it took to win the national championship. And yeah, you can shorten that timeline a bit in your head because of the transfer portal now. That's fine. But the further I get away from January 1st, the better I feel. Because I'm able to just take an emotionless, holistic look at where Oregon's at. They're doing it the way the past programs have. Yeah, didn't work out this time. You go back to the drawing board, reload, and figure out how you can be better. I think Dan Lanning will do that. I'm closing with this question today after that just run of absolute positivity here on the show. Antonez sends in this question. Keep your questions coming, by the way. YouTube comments, Twitter, become a Locked On Ducks insider. However you want to send in a question, by all means. Who would be the betting favorite, the 2024 Ducks versus the 2025 Ducks? If you listen to the whole show today, you know what the answer is. It's 2024. The question in my mind would be, by how much? What is the appropriate point value? I've never been a bookie. I know that's surprising to hear. Nor do I have my own electronic sports book that generates these sorts of numbers and whatnot. Maybe I should ask our friends at FanDuel and say, hey, can you give me a line 2024 Oregon versus 2025 Oregon? In my mind, perhaps I need to see a couple things in the spring game, like what's the secondary going to look like? How good's the offensive line? Lost 4 guys from last year's team who you'd consider starters, and got a new quarterback. I don't have that many questions about the running back, receiver room. I think the tight end room's pretty good. I think the D-line is good. Not as good as last year, but still good. You know, you lose Harmon, Birch, Caldwell. They're all going to get drafted. Yeah, you got talent. But do you have that same level of talent? Maybe not next year. 26? Possibly. But if you put 2024 Oregon against 2025 Oregon, neutral field, veteran quarterback Dylan Gabriel against inexperienced and, you know, hopefully has learned a whole heck of a lot, but incredibly high ceiling Dante Moore, I'd probably say Oregon 2024. I'm curious to know how you guys feel, so let me know. But I'd probably say neutral field. Neutral field. There's no home field advantage in this. Probably around, I'd say around 6.5 to 7. I think that sounds like a lot. I'm going to go 7. You know what? I'm going 7.5. Quarterback question. Games are played on the field, not on paper. Of course. But quarterback question, O-line reset. You got that resetting O-line going against that 2024 Oregon defensive line. Heck, 7.5 might not be enough. I think it'd be in that sort of range. I think it would be, you know, that secondary to have to cover DeCorian Moore and Evan Stewart. But the new secondary, you know, has to cover Trayshawn Holden in addition to Tez Johnson and also Evan Stewart. How are we getting clones on there? Do we have a cloning system? I don't know. Science is crazy. Maybe that's the next thing that AI will come up with. But yeah, so I'll settle on that number. Neutral field, 2024 Oregon minus 7.5 against 2025 Oregon. But despite that, Oregon schedule, they're probably favored in 11 games going into next year. So it might be fun anyway. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. And go Ducks.